It is 7 o'clock. I will call to order the November our first meeting of the Amity City Council. If you'll all please rise and join me in saluting the flag. I would be anxious to do the flag of the United States of America and of the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So, how do we take roll press? Yep.
Councilor Melissa Bojorquez, Councilor April Dyche, Councilor Sandy McArthur, Councilor Caleb Shields,
Right.
Councilor Alice Thompson,
Present.
and Mayor Rachel King.
Okay, thank you. We will start this evening with the consent agenda. And for the record, I would like to add Councilor Shields to the roll call minutes of the third meeting. Other than that, I have a motion to approve. I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda with the addition of Councilor Shields to the October roll call. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, please signify by saying no. We will move into the citizen comment and question portion of the evening, and we will start by inviting up the sheriff's office.
Hello, hello. Sergeant Raj, I am back to night shift, so I'm able to attend. It's bittersweet because now I'm up all night, but I'm happy to be here. The month of October, after looking at stats, was a pretty busy month. The overall calls for service was 109 with 25 case numbers that was taken. I broke it down. There was 18 multiple deputy responses to include detectives, 31 total traffic stops, 7 ordinances. Of the 31 traffic stops, about 20 of those was during drop off and pickup times for school. And I had the pleasure of doing the trunk or treat last night, as both deputies have children, and I was here, so that was awesome. I had our VRU out there, and it was a pretty good time. I will say that I wasn't here the last week, and it sounds like there were some questions, and I was able to get some of those. There were some ODOT questions and some other things. I'm still working on that. Communication is paramount. So however we can all work together and communicate on big scenarios like that, that's what I will be looking towards. When the highway gets shut down, as you can imagine, there's a lot of things that go into place. Often we overlook. So we will work in the communication.
I just want to bring up, so we are used to seeing this kind of stat report every month. We actually have the opportunity from Sergeant Maddox that provided us with is the actual call total for the city. So every single call out and where it is. And so from now on, we should be able to see those numbers. And I think it just provides good insight because these FBI reportable, it shows 24. That's what we're used to seeing. But when we hear, oh, we had 190 calls, it hits home a lot harder how much work they do when you see it. So I want to thank you guys for that.
Yes, and that's the automated one, like the FBI reporting one. The one that actually we look at, and it has addresses and stuff. Obviously, we can't get that one out because there's too much detail in there. But yes, I did want to at least make sure that we get a little bit more.
I just want to say, as a council, we really appreciate this because, we don't need to know the details. We know you guys are working hard, but it is very essential. Any questions? Thanks. Do we have a date report this evening?
Hi there, Mary Rainey, representing you. And I would just follow up a little bit more on our daffodils are moving along and finding the kindergartners on the 8th at 12:30. And I believe Alice has got a couple of high school volunteers and it really gets too much, a couple of shovels. So it's good. And then the other thing was about the hanging baskets, and I'm wondering if you get the, if we have an opportunity to get those down anytime soon. And then they can be stored over at the toilets. So in behind the big tower, off of Sixth Street, there's a the gates there.
Yeah.
And so we want to arrange with them to get the gate unlocked, but it seems we have to do it right at a heads up on that.
Yeah.
So, and so I don't think that we have anything specific we're working on right now. The Christmas is underway in good ways with the fire station, and so keeping all that stuff going too. So very good.
Again, I would just ask if you plan for a meeting, just want to set it up so we can be there.
Yes, yes, so we'll do the debt bills with kindergartners. And, although I guess that is a week, okay, well, maybe next week.
Aaron, do you have a date for the goodie bags to do those?
Well, that for the Christmas week, well, I don't know that, so that wasn't
Fire.
part of what's gonna go on.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that was, we could, you know. The fire department's got the lead on that, so we haven't got it.
We're doing the goodie bags. Okay.
So we'll let you know when you call, because you probably know. Okay. So is there any citizen comment from in the audience in front of us? Seeing none, I will ask them to check online as well. Okay, we will move on to old business, of which there is none, and into new business. The first item on our agenda, the presentation of audit and group audit findings. I'm actually going to ask them to table this until next month, as our auditor was not able to. All right. So they will be here in December for that. And we will move on to.
Mayor King,
Yes.
if I could add really quick,
Yeah.
if you have any questions about the report, I'm happy to pass those, collect those and pass those on. I mean, I'm sure he's planning a full presentation and a full report, but if you have any specific questions and you're like, this really isn't adding up or making sense to me, or I'd like to learn more about this piece, feel free to let me know and I can pass those on. That way he's a little more prepared too.
I thought it was really thorough report, so.
I am very happy with this.
Yeah, I read it through it. And like, it makes a lot more sense. Yeah, so yeah, I was pleased.
Comparatively to the one that has been used for many years.
It was very comprehensive. I don't have to take compared to, but it was much easier.
So with that, we'll move on to the second item of business, appoint tourism committee members. So according to our ordinance, page 63, we have kind of a breakdown of who will serve as the voting board of the tourism committee. I'm happy we're restarting that. So consists of 6 members. First off is 2 council members that will serve as the chair and committee. So is there willing and utilizing the voting members?
This one?
Sorry, what?
Nothing. Do I have anything that I've already said? I would fill one of
Yes,
the
sorry.
positions.
Yes, I already have it.
You'd be happy to serve. Would you be happy to serve as the chair of the tourism committee for us? Okay. And I happen to serve as the chair. So I don't know, do we need a motion for a formal appointment for that?
I don't think so, because it states in there that two of you will be.
Okay. So moving on, how long was this advertised? You know? First and second?
I don't know if I remember.
Was it a month?
Yeah, same month.
I was,
It was right after the.
yeah, it would have been within a couple days, yeah, so.
So we have the application fee receipt in front of us. If no one minds, I would just ask the applicants to have to come up and tell us a little bit about themselves and why they haven't just. So we have one member of the executive board of the alternative group, two in tourism related industry, and one member of. Okay, so I'm gonna call you in the order that you're on our exhibit and let us know your name, who you are, why you're interested, and what you would like to do. Let's start with our boss.
Alice is the chair and the mayor.
Well, hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me better than I can hear you. I realize I must be getting pretty darn old because I'm not hearing very well, but I am interested in serving on the tourism committee. As some of you, I'm sure know, I was on the former tourism committee for the city of Amity. That group did a lot of very good things. It happened to intersect with the tumultuous time in the city of Amity. Not only did COVID strike and everything had to go off personal meetings, but also there was a lot of turnover within the city council and within the city administrator role, and tourism kind of got lost during that period of time. And I'm very happy to know that there is interest in reforming that group. I, with my husband Rob, own the British building was kind of across the street, Trade Street building. On the top of that building is an entity we call Amity Flats. It's 5 rooms that we have been renting out largely to wine country tourism, but also to other entities for now 6.5 years, and it's grown and become very successful. And people who come to visit us pay their 7% tax to us, and we forward that on to you. And I think I've said from the beginning that I can't think of a better use of tax money than to come into the city and promote tourism. So my heart and soul is in this. I won't belabor a lot of things, but just to give you a little background, my background is academic. I was a professor at Oregon State University in forestry, which is not related to tourism, before I retired. When my husband and I moved up here to retire, we bought this building across the street and renovated it. One of the best uses for the upper floor turned out to be for lodging, transient lodging. So we both put on different hats and learned about tourism, and I've gotten really interested in that during that period of time. I have served on the Yamhill County Tourism Partnership for a few years. That group has expanded, but it was incredibly useful and gave me an entree into learning about tourism activities in the state. To travel Salem, I think it is, and the Willamette Valley Tourism Group, and the state level tourism, and those are really fine-tuned machines. And at one point, Amity had a really good relationship with those entities. And one of the things I'd like to do on this board is to reestablish those strategic partnerships, because they have a lot of history and a lot of knowledge that most of us do not have, and it's great to partner with them to get that knowledge. Yeah, I think I'll stop there. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
You should represent school.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll go on Rod Henderson.
Hi, Rod Henderson. Barb covered a lot. I was on the previous tour committee and Brandon, and enjoyed it a lot. Got to know the people and enjoyed working with them, and would love to do it again. I guess I don't know what else to say. Any questions?
I just want to clarify, so you're applying for one of the tourism related entities, right?
Industry related issues, yeah.
Okay, and then you as a member, correct?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions for that? Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have David Rasmussen. Not here this evening. I think he was also applying for the tourism related industry. Do we have Bailey Maxwell? Dan Conrad?
So I'm Deb, and I am applying to be the liaison with the Amity Downtown Improvement Group. I have worked with Dyche almost since I've been here and I started volunteering for various projects. And I've talked with the members and they are very supportive of my application for the liaison between the tourism committee and the Downtown Improvement Group. I have lived in the Amity area for 10 years, 10 years and 9 months now. And although I don't live in the city limits, I identify as an Amity resident because I love this little town and just very much all that's done to both the city council and the downtown improvement group have done during the last 10 years to make it a better place to live. My background is in volunteering. I'm an educator. I teach math. I'm still teaching math because I just can't quit it. We have a 70-acre hazelnut farm, just 2 miles from downtown Amity. We have a distillery that is now distilling as of last month, so we will have our first tasting will probably be at the Amity Market in their little area. We're hoping to keep it close to home. And I'm also an artist. I have been, my husband and I have been on the Art Park Studio tour for the last 8 years, 10, 8 years, 3 years. And I just think that Amity has so much to offer people who come here. Not just the people who come here for the art and people who come here for the wine, but people who come here for that authentic small town experience. And it's hard to get that in McMinnville because it's big, we're small, and we've got friendly people, and I think we need to capitalize on that. So that is why I'm really eager to continue my experience with the tourism committee. I was not part of the tourism committee the last time, but I was on the Granby subcommittee, and I was absolutely amazed at what a cohesive collaborative group can do when it's given a mission and turn loose. And so that's what I would like to do.
Thank you. And then Anne.
Hi, Erin Rainey. So I have a little flower shop in town. And we opened there in 2017. So the candy and the flowers, the candy shop had to go, but the flowers are still hanging in. And so that is my main reason for wanting to be on the tourism committee. It's really about the Daffodil Festival in town. And I just am really passionate about that. And I think that it's good for the town, and it's kind of everything that we want to do and be. And so I need to try to find new interest in ways to keep trying to make that work. And so that's why I want to be on the tourism committee, because those would be the people that would get it out there that's happening. And anyway, so I don't know if I really need to be on the tourism committee, but I need to make it that festival. So you know, and I have been with Dyche for ever, and so I kind of think that we're moving forward with that idea of having the Daffodil Festival, but it's kind of like maybe I'm the one who wants the most. So anyway, I think that maybe we could find more input to make it better for the community.
Evening, we have 6 positions to fill. We have more applications than we have positions to fill as well. Which is always tough, but I want to reiterate that these are voting members and voting positions. We hope that the tourism committee, expands and includes anyone that has interest. My hope is that we can have this one filled with 3 times this many people that want to talk about tourism or talk about Daffodil Festival or talk about Amity or the next thing that the state of Amity is doing. And the city will continue to partner with anyone that wants to bring that good to our city. When council approved reactivating this committee, there was this slightest bit of hesitation of will we have people that even hear us, so I'm overjoyed to be in this position, but it's hard to choose. I mean, that being our job, I will open it up for any council discussion. Any input, any council discussion?
So of our applicants, who are we considering for the two tourism related industry positions? Is that going to be Barb and David?
Yes.
And the other applicants fit that bill? As far as
Aaron.
Oh, Aaron, right.
Aaron owns a business.
So we've got 3 applicants for those 2 positions.
Well, so Aaron, did you want to apply solely as a dig representative or a tourism related industry? Or another one? So looking at. Sorry, as we work through this,
Yeah.
just.
I live out of town. I guess I hadn't put any thought to that. I didn't really realize that was a good choice. So member at large isn't a choice anymore.
It's not. So it would be as a big representative, or tourism related industry.
So I would say big related then, more likely.
It sounds like we're set on a city council member that are, maybe we have 4 extra. As applicants set with all of what we have, all categories. For the building numbers. Doing my math right.
Yes.
Yes. Right.
I like it.
Yeah.
So Aaron, would you be willing to serve as a representative of tourism related business?
Sure. Yeah, they, Aaron will do that and be responsible. Yeah, and I would love to reach out to David and Bailey and encourage them to participate. But not as official committee members.
And as a side note, I want to ask, because we don't have history of the previous tourism committee, was there a set of bylaws with that committee? That I need to know?
Yes.
But I don't like, we're approved. Just because I know a lot of committees hold voting alternates, right, and it makes it a lot easier to have a quorum. When you have such small. But that's fine, that's something we can do.
I mean, I know we had our official members that we had to have for a quorum, but.
I don't believe there were any bylaws. The city council member who was assigned to that committee had to resign within 2 months due to health reasons. And then the city administrator who was leading the committee signed the month after that. And there wasn't a lot of guidance. For the committee, and it does have a strategic plan, but I don't believe there were any bylaws.
Okay. So that might be able to work.
Execute.
Okay, so at this point, I would have to ask for a motion. I would just simply ask that you include the names, including the two counselors, Counselor Thompson, and then the position. Large pass, but.
I don't think it's.
Motion to appoint the following to the prison committee for a 2-year term expired December 31st, 2025. Counselor Thompson as chair and Mayor Pinky as co-chair. Our form and it would make when you certain and Aaron Rainey as Rob Hickerson as member at large and Conrad as the
Right. I have a motion and a second to appoint myself, Mayor King, Counselor Thompson, Barb Vaughn, Rod Hickerson, Deb Conrad, and Aaron Reed to the tourism committee. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passes. Thank you all again for your interest, your ability to make this commitment, and I look forward to it. We don't have a start date yet, but let me and the chair work with Nathan and that information out. Network out to everyone and see what can work. Thank you. With that, we'll move on to approval of resolution 2023-18, a resolution establishing Amity. Nathan, I'll let you start this off.
Yeah, so recently, or Amity City Council, right, has set a goal to plan for an Amity Day event for 2024. In pursuit of this goal, shortly after I started, so a couple months ago, we did a community survey. Got a pretty strong response. We ended up with over 100 respondents to that survey, that people that expressed either an interest or some ideas, some thoughts and opinions. So there's a good, strong base of kind of community input. And so with that, I think that it would be, well, with that, and then one of the questions that we asked on that survey was, would you be willing to participate in a group to plan an Amity Day type event? And over 30 people said yes, another 20 people said maybe, and 50 people gave me their emails to provide updates. So I'd love to, kind of take that interest that we've generated and try to build a committee to work on that Amity Day event so that we can have that ready for hopefully 2024, plan a large successful event, and kind of, show to the community also that we're following up on something that we've talked about. And so we talked about establishing a committee, and then, yeah.
So I will add, it's a little easier if it's towards the committee because we already have that, what that looks like. So Nathan and I kind of work together as we walk and work well for the secondary committee and we go to committee. And it shows here, so that would be made up of 5 voting members. Again, we hope to have a few groups that's interested and they're really, giving input and whatnot, but we have chair, co-chair, secretary, and voter voting members. Written in the background in this description is that the co-chair position would be filled by a current member of council. I noticed before the meeting that's actually not written into the resolution, so please, this resolution, I would just ask that the motion at that to add the language that the co-chair will be, co-chair position will be some specific council member. Other than that, I just want to open it up for discussion and input and see if the idea sounds good to everyone and if the resolution.
And say, well, I was just gonna say, if I can add, yeah, so I reached out to city managers in the area, saw that Dayton used to have a community events committee. Rochelle is actually trying to restart that. So she sent me what she had. So this resolution is strongly modeled after theirs. I figured we could take the opportunity to talk about, those things that we may want to change, whether it be changing the number of voting members, specifying how many can be live inside or outside of city limits. So if there's any changes that you want there, we can make those. If not, we'll work out.
It's just the form number, really, less likely to have it inside. Change that, we can add. Yeah. I mean, maybe not. If everyone's comfortable with the building, they would just be choosing people that are willing to listen to input on what and so according to what. So if there's no further comments or concerns, I would ask a motion for approval.
I would ask resolution number 2023-18, a resolution that includes legal entities and legal committee with the CP change to add a co-chair position.
I have a motion and a second to adopt resolution 2023-18, a resolution establishing the city of the Amity committee with the addition of language specifying the counselor fill the co-chair position. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passes, and we can start advertising for that then, and so we're at before the next month meeting.
I would do that.
We will move on to approval of resolution number 2023-17, a resolution authorizing the application for the PLPP TA agreements.
Yeah, we talked briefly, I believe, in work session near the beginning of October, after talking with Regional Solutions and a few other people about the city of Amity's comprehensive plan and its current state, that it was made in 1979. I saw that DLCD was doing technical assistance grants, or a technical assistance grant cycle, basically where they would provide funding and help connect us with people who could help in that review of that comprehensive plan, and then probably a full update because it's just been so long. And so I realized that it would probably be a good idea to apply for that grant like the day that it was due. Unfortunately, I thought I had more time than I did. And so I worked to get an application in, and so now I'm just asking for council's support of that. If that's not something you want, now's your chance to say no. But I think if we got those grant funds that I requested from DLCD, and we're able to put them towards reviewing and updating our comprehensive plan, it would help out a lot.
Right. So, if the council is ever asked to pull this grant application, when would we find out if that award would be delivered?
As far as I know, it would be near the end of this month. I believe that's the last I heard. I can check on that.
I would say in that last day, we did reach out to me, I say, I'm gonna ship out forward and report that. This is just to make it official. Larger cities have their comprehensive plan go under periodic review every 10 years at least. And so just to make sure that everything's up to date and according to state law and statutes and all that, because of our survey, that hasn't been necessary. As you can see by what we're asking here, that's costly. So regardless, if the end result of this is a full blown for a new comprehensive plan, it would still identify if awarded, get those eyes on what we have and the place to start.
Next, to pass resolution number 2023-17, a resolution authorizing application for the DLCD grant.
I have a motion in a second to pass resolution number 2023-17, a resolution authorizing application for the DLCD grant. Any further discussion?
Are we obligated to act on this grant if we get it within this time frame?
I pulled it up. So the department will notify applicants of award decisions usually within 60 days. So we should know.
I think.
And then.
Your question, yes, but that would come within the award contract. Council has to do the contract.
Yeah. So
we would get a notice of award. They would send in a contract. They would tell us that, and then we would make this. Does it say it on that, the timeline?
Yeah, so it would be 60 days after application. So after October 2nd, that we would probably have award decision.
But I think he's asking.
And then,
yeah,
and say after that, it's another 60 to 90 days to complete the scope of work and execute a grant agreement. It doesn't, I mean, it doesn't say anything specific about obligated or if we decide that it's too much or
That's
Amity can't handle it right now.
Estimates or contractor things are well above what we have. This amount, I want to be obligated, it's not enough budget to
oh, I see what you're
move forward.
yeah,
That was best for my concern.
Yeah.
yeah, so anytime that you receive the award, an award contract, and that would come up for council to accept.
Yeah.
It's not just like submitting the grant.
And it's, I mean, it says that DLCD will work closely to complete the scope of work and execute a grant agreement. So in that, we would be, you know, making sure that the scope of work isn't going to carry the city well outside the realm of that award or the awarded funds. And as far as I understood, there wasn't even a match required with this one. And so we could scope it so that all of the work was done within grant funds.
Well, it sounds like it's something we need to do. Or, yeah, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, no, I had some questions about how much funding to ask for. I got a couple of different numbers, wildly different from people. One person, you know, said 25,000. The other person said like maybe 70 or 80. So I shot somewhere in the middle and figured we'll do what we can with the money we get. And so, and that'll work.
And if it's 60 days until we find out, and 90 more days, that might be something that we look at in the budget cycle, if we're able to put some towards that. Just as a buffer. I think that's a good question. Any other further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passes. Our last item of new business is approval of local government grant program agreement, which is the second part after your application is awarded. And you want to give us up to speed on this?
Yeah, so City Administrator Rob Dakin applied for an Oregon Parks and Rec Department grant to rehabilitate the walking path in the Amity City Park. Amity was awarded that grant and has been given the agreement, just needs to be signed before I can continue with the work. So the grant would provide $75,000 and be matched by just under 20,000 of SDC funds, park SDC funds. And we have until December of 2025. I anticipate work much sooner than that. I'm hoping, within the next few months, but that's probably pretty optimistic. Yeah, it would just be rehabilitating our walking path that's currently mulch, but a lot of the mulch has been kicked out or misplaced. And it would be regrading that and then putting in a compacted gravel trail with some metal edging.
And as a reminder, we do have this in our budget. This is in that for most of you get. Any questions or comments?
Let me comment, then maybe staff, then just want to say about for engineering experience. And
Yeah.
letting you know that it's more than.
Well, getting on that. Okay, I would like to start on that.
Move to approve local government grant program Oregon Parks and Recreation Department and authorize state administrator.
I have a motion in a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passes. We will move into department reports. I'll start with our city administrator. Anything to add? And also updates.
So yeah, if you had any questions, the big ones, so Amity, we talked about that. I'll start inviting people to apply. The big one is the contract with Civic Plus. We talked about going forward with a website change. And that process is slowly but surely started. We've started, talking about kind of the phasing of that implementation and what it'll look like. It will go through a design process. We have the style guide from the tourism committee multiple years ago. As I've reviewed it, the style guide looks really good to me. I love the colors and everything along with it. And I think that will help provide a good base for that kind of website design. If you have any concerns with using that style guide, I don't know. I don't know if I have, records of it being officially accepted by the council or anything like that. But it was something, that branding proposal put together and given to the city essentially. So it's really good work and it looks really good. And it would provide a solid base for that design concept. The other thing is that they recommend having like a implementation team, right, to kind of review design as we go. I do plan on, bringing major stages back to council, obviously, but if there's somebody who has extra say or would like to, go a little bit above and beyond and probably take a little more time to review with me as we go, that might be helpful. Because I know it'll be myself and Tasha, and then they said 3 to 4 people, right? So, yeah.
Is there anyone interested in being a part of this unofficial implementation? All I want to So if you could just let some partner and I know when or what we need.
Yeah. It'll still be a little ways off. They, like I said, they've been a little slow to contact me, and that's fine. They're just kind of
And then
in their vacation season.
before
but
that was the public that it was work process, demo or an
I
overview.
think multiple times. Yeah. It'll be several months before it goes live. We're probably looking at honestly spring at this point. So it'll take them a little while, but we should be able to like review a concept after they design it, after we give some input. So yeah. I attended LSC. Thank you for putting professional development in the budget. I know it makes a big difference for me personally. I've seen it in staff. I just want to say thank you for that. Also, apparently I won a free conference registration for next year. So if you'd like to attend, it's on the city, it's free. So consider that. League of Cities. I enjoyed it a lot. Hopefully Mayor King did too. And I think it was a great opportunity to like see what other cities are doing, learn more about everything going on out there. There's a lot.
Let me add the networking as well. We talked to not only like our peers and other cities, but they had a lot of people trying to sell it. But it was really good because we were able to talk to a wide variety of vendors. And one thing I know I'm interrupting you. There's people interested in helping us get our plan to have better lighting with the equipment that we have. And that was really exciting to me, and the individuals that we've been talking to. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Exciting.
They were,
The poster great, but for a while, we don't write it well as so.
yeah. And they spent some time talking to us about LED bulbs that specifically face down instead of all over. So I think they're planning on sending a sample. So hopefully we can.
We'll kind of do the same thing with some samples, we'll ask for input on that better on.
If anybody has questions on any of the grants, number 6, worked with Greg our Public Works to interview 3 candidates for the utility worker position. We had great candidates, really solid people. It was great to interview all of them. We ended up offering the position to Clint Hatch. He's young and enthusiastic, ready to go, has some great experience with construction and other things. And I think right now Public Works is in a really great spot where we have 2 honestly really experienced individuals, and they're looking for somebody that they can train and help out a lot. And so I think we made a good fit that way. Yes, yeah. He will be starting the 13th, I believe, Monday the 13th. Other than that, I just wanted to know, thank you, Aaron, for your suggestion to reach out to the high school. I did so, and as far as I know, their plan is to use the sawmill on those trees that are currently laying in our park. I don't know. It's been pretty rainy, so no judgment if none of you have been down there. I would say they're very big. And yeah, I mean, they removed all the branches and stuff like that, or all the small branches associated with those. So there wasn't any, concerns necessarily, assuming kids aren't rolling those logs onto themselves somehow. But so hopefully the high school will be working on milling those logs and being able to use that lumber for, he said, projects inside the high school, as well as he talked about some picnic tables for the park as well. So
Will we be able to check on the timeline just so it's not settled in the parking lot?
I can definitely follow up again. Yeah. And say, he said he was planning to do it Monday afternoon, and then it's since, not worked out, but
Yes, I mean, I just know that something I've learned in this position is sometimes it feels like you're bugging people because you just need to keep on it until you hear back. So don't feel bad, just say, you know, let them know that Muslim doesn't want them to sit longer than we have to, but we understand if it's like, plan.
No.
We just want to know.
It is, there's a lot of good wood there. There's a lot for him to do, so. Yeah. Thank you.
Tasha, do you have anything to add to your report?
Nope.
Any questions on the public works, library, city engineering, building, city attorney, meeting report? If there's none, we'll move on to business from the mayor and city councilors. Council President, do you have anything for the?
Stand up right on, or first. Right? Fire department is handling the, after meet and greet with Santa at the fire hall. Possibly, at this point, we're handling everything. But we haven't started thinking that yet, so, we're at the ordering everything stage. But I don't know yet, there's, I will let you know. But, you know, I don't that I've heard, so. And what I heard is that it's going to start about 5:45 and Sandy should be passing by, but the tree lighting right at 6. Yeah, I'll wait for it. Right, they said that they're going to start at 5:45 and be here, that they weren't going to be much time. And we will have cocoa and drinks here, and it will be my luck to send everyone down towards the fire hall, but I do know what practice to get in. I mean, yeah, and we will have cocoa and some kind of treat down there. Anything else? Councilor Bojorquez, anything further to order? Councilor Bojorquez, nothing to report. Councilor Thompson? No. Okay. This is a good time to remind everyone we have a vacant seat on our city council. We have, this has been quite a few months now. We've tried advertising, so if you or somebody you know is interested in be an Amity resident for at least a year and register to vote in the state of Oregon, we would love to fill this position. And mayor's report and final comments. I just have a few things. Our harvest party is set, everything's staff and Kaiser Farm and all of our volunteers that came. Turnout was a lot less than years. But we had some plans going on and we had to do well. So we think that when they're together, without getting something not as simple. It was still a great time. And then I want to thank a quick compliment to our students there for doing contest. The judging for that, I think that is what I can maybe fun, you know. Everyone was happy for their faces. And I will say that a couple weeks before we announced that you had someone reach out asking something. So that makes me happy that it's an annual event. One thing I wanted to bring up is that someone from the school staff member reached out asking about crossing guards. And if we knew any organizations that could help with volunteers. I sent out this to know, but there was something that us talked about. So I just want to keep that conversation going. If you guys have ideas or know what we can do, they just like help with more presence at the crosswalk when they can do it. Yeah, but A reminder of our joint meeting with the planning commission Monday at 6:30. That will be at the fire hall. Along with that customer, I wanted to say, Public Works brought the speed radar sign down to Dyche. There wasn't much that we were able to do, knowing that the influx of people were going to come with the trunk or treat. But Public Works got quite a few cones out to mark the edges of the road and the speed radar sign. Because the batteries needed charged, it was plugged into the house. But because of that, I received positive feedback. People were happy to see it up and excuse me, the high speed I saw was like 13 miles an hour, so it was making people aware. But with that, I would like to ask Nathan, excuse me, if we can have that out. I know because it's another thing for Public Works to do, it probably could be better paid. But it was just an idea of making, oh, we can put that out there, I think we need to utilize that, so as much as we're able to do it. I would really be happy to see it when I got home. I think it was good. And 20 miles an hour feels fast, and there's that many people on it, so I was happy people were slowly careful. Any other questions or anything else for the board?
You want to mention the bridge?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
I'm glad you asked. ODOT sent me an email today. Contractor is hoping, reason I'm hesitant is because it's, unofficial, all up to the contractor, hopefully done tomorrow afternoon.
What?
After opening it to the public after their shift tomorrow, so.
So I put in a newsletter that when we have official exact date, we would let everybody know. The tone of the emails from ODOT say it should be, it's up to the contractor, we'll let you know. I don't feel comfortable releasing a date and then
How they
not
remove this
happening.
night.
So Nathan and I are working on a press release that the moment to be confident that's happening, it's getting on.
We should all run down.
I would say, I'll do
Let's have a ribbon cutting.
Tomorrow at 5.
Well, I was gonna say, since when down around 3 o'clock and check on. I'll be able to share with Gary, please. So that's where we're at. I wish, I'm happy that it's opening as soon as possible. I wish we had a little more time to answer something like that, but we're preparing best for people to spread it. Yeah. As soon as we can do so confidently. Reader word.
Well, their big signs will be removed. That'll be.
Almost every.
Yes.
What's those before?
Yes. Anything else for the board? So I would ask for kind of motion for the evening. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening.
Can you tell me what this is?
Probably,
GLCD?
yeah, so it's the Department of Land, or no, the something, yes. I was like, department is one of the Ds, I couldn't remember which one, land conservation. Yeah, basically they help deal with anything like planning, land use, yeah.
Just didn't know.
What the, yeah. And then the TA is technical assistance, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's what that is.
GLCD, yeah, I didn't say specific, but
Appreciate it.
yeah, no problem.
I thought so.
Good night.
Bye. Bye, Alice.
Bye.